Knife obsession is real. I have it, and a lot of you have it. That's why you clicked on this video. I wanted to create this for the knife community for fun, just as a celebration of something we love so much. And I want to share 3 reasons why we are obsessed. Stick around. From what I can tell, jokingly, I'll say there's like 3 types of people in the world. There are those who have knives and they're obsessed with them. There are those who utilize knives, but they're not obsessed. And then there are those who don't like knives. This is for my obsessed friends out there. First reason why we go crazy over knives is I can't think of a better tool that's ever been invented. I think a knife is one of the finest tools ever invented. Back before we could craft all these beautiful steel blades, man, people were chiseling down rocks and making knives, because you gotta have one out here. You gotta have one everywhere if you're doing work. Literally try to function without a knife and you won't. People always need something to cut with. When they don't have knives, they'll try to cut with the serrated edge of their keys. They'll grab for a pair of scissors. We gotta have knives. Don't you love it when you're out and about and somebody who doesn't have a knife with them looks at you and says, "Hey, do you have your knife with you?" I'm like, man, does a pig roll around in the dirt, big guy? I say, everybody stand back. Here comes the blades. Because they're such a great tool, it gives us an excuse to embrace this obsession. The second reason why we love knives is because knives have been a historical weapon of warfare, and they are one incredible equalizer. No matter how big and bad a person or large animal may be, this will always be a problem. Showcasing the cold steel leatherneck combat knife in this video. This is probably one of the biggest rivals to the traditional K-bar knife. A lot of people like it better because the tang is thicker. I think they're both awesome. I have them both. Whether you believe it's a great equalizer or not, most people believe that it is, and historically that has been proven. It's amazing how many people who typically don't have a lot of knives will grab that kitchen knife when they sense that something is off in the house. To go along with the historical combative aspect of the blade and also its historical usefulness, I believe there's a primal connection that we have to the blade. There's just something in us, the primal side of us, that is drawn to these amazing edged works of art. The third reason why we're obsessed is because they're fun to collect. They're fun to buy. You can buy expensive knives. You can buy good, inexpensive knives. We love to shop them. We love to look at all the different types. We love to zero in on our favorite styles and collect those. It's just something fun to do. As I've said before, I think there's a fine line between collecting and actively enjoying and engaging our collection versus just mindlessly spending money on blades all the time. That can become excessive. You can end up with a bunch of knives you don't care about. Like I said, there's a line somewhere, but you do you. I often embrace the challenge of finding the best possible knife that I can for the price. And then there's times when I enjoy reaching deep down in my pockets and pulling out a huge chunk of change to buy that blade that I'm tired of being indecisive about, and just making that commitment and pressing go. I've often said that my YouTube channel is a justification for my obsession of knives. I'm like, oh, let's get this one and talk about it. You know, it gives me a reason. And although that may be true, many of you know that my channel is not just a knife channel, but the knife is probably my favorite piece of gear to talk about because it is so diverse. I can talk about its workability. I can talk about its defense ability. I can talk about the everyday carry aspect of it. Knives fit with all of life, and I try to address all of life on my channel. Knives are also something that you can pass down. I don't know if you've done a will or had a conversation with anybody, but you know, you can pass your collection down if something happens to you. I've got somebody in my life that's near and dear to me that really loves knives, and I told him if something ever happens to me that he and his boy gets my knife collection. Along with the collection aspect of knives, there's the community aspect of it. You know, where there's collecting, there's usually community. You find people of like minds, and you just get to talk about your favorite blades and why you like this one more than that one. It just fuels the obsession. Speaking of obsession, I think I've decided to add to my collection the Tonto version of the Leatherneck. This is just a solid beefcake of a blade. Short, sweet, to the point. That's my story, and I'm sticking to that thing. Do you agree with what I've said in this video? Why else are we so obsessed with these? Thanks for watching, my good friend. Catch you in the next video.